is up, guys? DT Ninja here to give you guys my RuroKen Hokkaido Arc Chapter 22 discussion. Okay, guys, this is part 2 of the video for Chapter 22. I want to give a big shout out to Chris JP20 for letting me use his color scans. As always, that intro was actually a map of Hokkaido from the story. So I put a lot of the different events on a map to show you where they take place. So it's very unique, right? Okay, let's get to the discussion questions. Some of them I talked about in my last video, and we're going to further discuss them. So, where did Kenshin and the others learn how to ride a horse? So first things first, I think Kenshin probably learned in the Bakumatsu, which is the revolution. Probably as a young kid, probably 16, 17 years old, he probably learned how to ride a horse. That's just my take on it. I think someone taught him how to, ride a horse, or he learned on his own. So that's my take on that. Now, Sano, we know, traveled around the world, so that's where he picked it up. And in fact, there's actually a special chapter called Cherry Blossoms in Springtime. And in that special chapter, we actually get a glimpse of Sano in another country, and we see him on the horse. So that was not surprising. What was surprising is that Asahi is riding a horse, which, she's young. She's probably 16, 17 years old. We don't know her exact age, but she probably learned from being in her organization, Syndicate, how to ride a horse. Because it sounded like a lot of her things are military deployment, stuff like that, so there's got to be some kind of transportation of soldiers. So that's my take on that, and it's pretty funny seeing Asahi and Iran together, because we know Iran has a huge crush on Asahi, which is great. He's kind of a, romantic. You see him flirting with Tsubame in one chapter, and he's head over heels for Asahi. And, it's fun to see that. And it's just, we've seen a couple of scenes of them together talking to each other. So you definitely can see they're growing closer together. All three of them, Ashitaro, Iran, and Asahi, are all becoming friends. The bonds are growing. Okay, so next question. What does Iran mean when he says, this is a great opportunity for us to find out what we are missing? So he mentions, while he's riding on the horse, what we are missing. And it's very interesting because it reminds me of what Sojiro said to Kenshin. Now, we all know Kenshin told him that you cannot base things, your whole life off of one battle, because you would never know if you're right or wrong. You have to learn by living your life every day. And Sojiro went off on his own for 5 years and traveled the country and came back and said, I still haven't found out what it is that I'm missing, but if I stay at your side, Mr. Himura, maybe I'll find what it is, a clue to what that answer is. So I found it interesting that it was very similar to what Sojiro said. But what is it? What is it? Okay, so things that they were deprived of, you could say, as a child. Obviously, Iran is half Japanese. He even tried to fool people, right? He colored his hair black, and when the oil went on there, that's when we learned he's actually blonde. So we can definitely see he's probably been criticized by the public, and he probably hasn't had a lot of friends growing up. So it's great to see him and the rest of them become friends. Another thing, money. Money is very tight. That's why he chose this life of crime, of being a stowaway, and the same reason why Ashitaro became the same thing. He's stealing food, right? He's dining and dashing, right? So the same thing. So for Iran, I would say it's money and friendship. For Ashitaro, I would say it's food and friendship. He has no friends. I would also argue love for all three of them, but obviously Ashitaro really hasn't been shown love growing up. So obviously a lot of people hated him. So when Kenshin came along and showed him, and even changed his name, by the way, to Ashitaro, the son of tomorrow, that was the first time he ever felt anyone praise him. So, yeah. Okay, the next thing, Asahi. What is she deprived of? Okay, well, she's got food, she's got shelter, she's got a lot of things. You know, she became strong, she's useful. However, she was deprived of a love of a parent, probably. Also, friendship. Okay, friendship. And also, I would say anything that she truly liked. Because it sounds like she hates violence. And that's what she was grown up on to, be involved with. So I think what she's missing is something that makes her something that drives her. Like for example, Megumi, it's medicine, right? For Yayiko, it's obviously swordsmanship, right? But it doesn't seem like Asahi likes violence, so I don't see her becoming a fighter. Actually for their team, I feel like she'd do something else, like heal them or something. I'm not saying she's gonna be like Megumi or anything like that, but there's something else out there that will help, and she's skilled at other things. So that's what he means by find out what they're missing. And like I said, Iran, big time money, because obviously he said Otaro is the city of money, and that's the whole idea with the whole money is every day and the whole Saturday Night Fever thing. That was pretty funny, by the way. But yeah, how are they going to make money? How are they going to make money? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to like fish for, and sell it? Like, help Kenshin. Obviously, they want to help out. That's another thing. They want to be helpful. So yeah, those are some things that I think about in Hokkaido. So in Hokkaido, I think they can find something that will help what they want to do. And for example, Ashitaro with his swordsmanship, Aran, he's very intellectual, but he's not great at swordsmanship. Maybe there's something else that can be helpful, useful, just like Asahi. Okay, so that's pretty much all for that one. How much stronger will Byakuya become when he wakes up? Obviously, Byakuya is the commander of the Mount Hakodate Corps, and his comrades, Doi, the rock man, I like to call him, and Gongu, he's got the spiky hair, and he's looking through the telescope. They seem to be afraid of him. They seem to be afraid of him. Like, he's talking about him like, okay, you should have never left him alive because he's going to be scary when he wakes up. How strong can this guy be? And Gongu, the guy with the telescope out, far away, he's saying, is Itakura-chan going to die? And it would be better for all of us if he does. What I think he means by this is, yes, he's afraid of him, but it's the true strength of Itakura is the mental thing. Because remember, he's the only one that can see the fighting spirits, right? This is all in his head. A swordsman's spirit obviously can be seen by swordsmen, but he is in his mind thinking this is really what, a fighter has inside. This is their determination, their killer instinct. If you have a killer instinct, you have a fighting spirit. So that's, to him, he's mental, right? He's got some mental issues. And I think that's what makes him strong, because he thinks that he is weak. He still thinks he's weak. You heard him when he was fighting the Batosai after he got beat. He's like, there's no way I can defeat someone like this. He's a monster. But in his mind, he is like, I can get stronger, I can get stronger, I can get stronger. All I gotta do is kill more people. So that mindset is pretty scary when you think about it. He's a dangerous guy. And he's got all these little trump extra cards, like the plate springs that allow him to break swords, or what was it? He blocked part of the Kuzuryu-sen and, you know, shoved Kenshin back. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. He's got the black magic, which we still don't know what that is. He's able to pull things from the ground. I mean, this guy is totally mental, and it actually said that in one of the chapters. So that's his strength. In his mind, he is strong, but everyone else thinks he's crazy and just, you know, I guess they think he just keeps getting stronger and stronger. But what do you guys think about Byakuya? He's pretty crazy. I like him as a villain. I would love to see his actual backstory. What happened to him as a kid and how he's growing up and everything. Because he mentioned, you know, I've been in hell for a very long time. So I would really love to see that. Okay, next thing. Kenshin seems to be worried about Ashitaro a lot more than Yaiko. Now, obviously, Yaiko, we had the chapter in chapter 21, I believe. Yaiko is very satisfied with staying in Tokyo. And he's like, when Kenshin needs me, he'll call on me. That's how it is now. He really relies on me now. But at the same time, if he really needs me, he'll call me himself. So he's not too worried about Yaiko, but he's worried about Ashitaro because he doesn't want history to repeat itself. Ashitaro is very much like Shishio, right? If you're strong, you live. If you're weak, you die. This is his kind of philosophy he lives by. In fact, in chapter, I think it's 14, he actually hears the voice of Shishio. I'm pretty sure because he says it back to himself. You see it right there. It says, if you're strong, you live. If you're weak, you die. And this is an internal monologue. So that's obviously Shishio's voice. He hears it. And then here he says, I like that. You know, this is something I can understand. So obviously he's not the brightest bulb, but he understands that winning is good and can make him stronger. So he doesn't quite understand the idea that friendship and bonds can make you stronger. And obviously he's already started making bonds. So, but anyways, you can definitely see that Kenshin sees himself in Ashitaro. He doesn't want him to end up like the Batosai did and go down a darker path. And there's another character in the series that has a similar thing, and that is Eiji Mishima. And he is very similar because you saw him. He's already unloaded a gun and almost shot Sojiro. He chose to, but you saw, he said he would kill them all if they betray him. So you definitely can see two different sides, two characters that could go down a darker path. I feel like one is actually going to go down a darker path, but I don't know which one. I'd like to think it's going to be Ashitaro and we'll have redemption, but it might be Eiji and Ashitaro might step in and help him out. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I do think that Kenshin does see himself in Ashitaro, and that's why he sees him more like a son. Sees him more like a son, and he also really wants to protect him. Okay, next question. What is the mysterious family crest shown on the swords? So when Kenshin goes into town, suddenly there's this guy, and they're fighting, right? And one of them is an old man, and he says, don't do anything stupid, Kozo Aojiri. Now, I don't think Kozo Aojiri is anybody important, but right after that, Kenshin's like, stop it. Like, because, like, right after that, there's, like, a group of people on both sides about to, you know, knock each other out and fight with swords, and Kenshin is just like, stop, what's going on here? And then the townspeople. This is ordinary people, women and even old, you know, children with swords. On the sword, you can see a crest. So they're all surrounding Kenshin and everyone, and you can see a crest on the sword. Now, this crest, I looked this up, this crest is actually in a very important symbol. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of them. Three from the three unifiers of Japan. There's Oda Nobunaga, which has a crest of Japanese quince, which is a kind of like a plant. It's not quite a tree, but it looks like a plant, a flower plant. And then you got Tokugawa, and that one is the symbol for the shogunate. And then you got Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and he's very well known, right? And that is what this symbol is. That is what this symbol is the Toyotomi Clan symbol. Is the ancient imperial symbol as well, the family crest for Toyotomi, as well as the imperial seal for ancient times. So I found that very interesting. And what the actual depiction is called a paulownia. A paulownia. Now this is a auspicious tree. And the character, I translated it in the scan, it actually means evergreen tree. So we know it's a tree. You can actually see like 3 different things there and 3 different plants. It's actually tree. So in legend tells it that only this tree a phoenix can perch on. And apparently the phoenix represents royalty, a leader. So the idea is that when the phoenix arrives, that is when the leader or the royalty, imperial person shows up. So that's in the legend. But anyways, it's the Toyotomi Clan symbol. So that's very interesting. The 3 great, unifiers of Japan: Oda Nobunaga, Ieyasu Tokugawa, and Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Now, obviously, you guys know Tokugawa wins in the end, and from 1603 to 1868, he rules with the Edo period, the Tokugawa era, and that brought about the Bakumatsu and the Meiji Revolution. So, there is also another thing you should know. Not only is this the Toyotomi clan's family crest, it's also the government seal. Yes, the Japanese government seal. Even today, the Prime Minister of Japan uses this seal, the paulownia, for this. And it goes back to ancient times. It goes to the Toyotomi clan. This is crazy, guys. So that means that this could be a government-issued weapon. A government-issued weapon. That means that they could be working for the government. Or what is even worse than that is that the government could be under the control of the Kinkaku Heki, which is scary to think about. Because if that's true, then that means they've already taken away law. They've already distributed arms. And remember, those were 2 things that they said they were going to, those were their demands, right? Those were the demands when they first showed up on Hakodate Mountain. So if this is true, then they control Otaro already. And that's scary. That's scary. So is it the government that's behind it? You can tell the townspeople are fearful. They seem to be forced to do this, or, it just seems like they're a little timid, but at the same time, they have to do it. Maybe they feel threatened to do it. So, but who's behind it? That's the very interesting thing to think about. Because remember, we saw this dark figure that might be Kanryu Takeda. We still haven't seen who that is. Maybe we'll get to see in the next chapter. And that is my last question. What's going to happen in the next chapter, guys? What's going to happen? So, my feeling is that Kenshin and the others are going to retaliate. I don't know if Kenshin's going to draw his sword and just, show it. Or is Sano going to do something? Because remember, Sano said, I'm going to do the fighting. So what if Sano has a new technique that knocks back all the swords? Maybe he'll do a Futai no Kiwami and just drop everyone to the ground. Who knows? That would be awesome. But yeah, what if he has like a defensive technique now and we get to see it? That would be freaking awesome. But anyways, that's what I think might happen. We might even get a glimpse at who the villain behind this is. And it could be the Kinkaku Heki in control, but the idea that seal is actually the Japanese government seal, is kind of scary when you think about it. Because remember, Saito asked for help, and they said the government is too busy. Yeah, so could there be a spy within the government working for the Kinkaku Heki? I don't know, but maybe it's possible. So, and also, maybe if it's a longer chapter, we'll get to see something from Saito and Nagakura in Sapporo. So that's my thinking, or maybe even Aoshi in Kyoto, because I really want to see what Aoshi is up to. But anyways, guys, that's my discussion. If you guys were wondering what this is actually kind of a back. It's for your back. It's actually not a shinai, but I like it because it kind of does look like a handle for a a wooden sword. But anyways, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I will see you guys in the next one.